Hi everyone, I'm Carol from Wake Forest, North Carolina, and for my holiday cooking class today, I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite all-time holiday desserts. You can actually make it any time of the year. It's such a hit. I've done so many live cooking classes on this. So it's American pecan squares. So I'm going to start with a 9x13 pan, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it line it in aluminum foil. So I turn my pan upside down. I take my foil and I just mold it to the back of the pan. And I like to use the lightweight foil. That's the longer one, not the shorter one. That way I don't have any seams in it. But the heavier one's a lot more expensive, so you really don't need to use that one. So you just want to gently press it into shape. You want to be careful because you don't want to tear it, because you don't want them to leak all over inside and then they're going to be hard to get out. So once I have that, I'm going to get my baking spray. And I'm going to spray it really well. And if you're messy with this, spray it over the sink so you don't get the spray all over your countertops. So the ingredients for the shortbread crust we're going to start with is 2 sticks of butter. And I like to use unsalted butter because I like to be able to put as much salt or not put as much salt in a recipe. So anyway, I'm going to start with 2 sticks of butter, a half a cup of powdered sugar, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and you don't have to be that precise with it, but you don't want to go way over, so I just kind of do the shake method. Okay. A pinch of salt, and then vanilla. Here's regular vanilla, but I also like to use vanilla bean paste. You can buy it at Walmart or Amazon, specialty gourmet food stores. It's really thick. And it just gives your baked goods and what you're using it in a much better concentrated vanilla flavor. And so I just put about a half a teaspoon. So then with that, I am gonna mix it with my new food presser, so I'm just getting used to it. And you're gonna mix it for about 30 seconds. Okay, that's perfect. And you can see how it's all come together. So I'm going to take it out of my food processor, but you want to be really careful with these blades because they are super sharp. Stick that over there. Okay. So I'm going to scoop all this out. Perfect. And if you want to double this, it doubles really easily, especially if you have a big food processor. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take a piece of the dough and put it in each corner, so as I spread it around, it doesn't start coming up. And you can either use your fingers for this or use an offset spatula. I like to use my fingers because I find that the spatula tends to tear the foil when I'm doing it. So I just do it nice like this. And as you can see how easy it spreads, that's because I had the butter really softened. You really need to soften the butter for shortbread crust. If not, it's not going to do this and it's going to be really hard to spread out and it'll just beat a lot longer. So with that, I have everything all covered. And you want to try to make sure you have no holes in the foil. And then at the end, if you want to give it a quick little and smooth it out a little bit, you can. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven, 350, preheated 350 oven for about 20 minutes until it's really nice and browned. So I have my shortbread crust that's nicely browned, and so I'm going to start on my pecan toppings, and it is 1 stick of butter. So I have my cooktop on medium, so I'm going to melt that. And while that's melting, it's melting a little quickly, but that's okay. I am going to add a half a cup plus 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar, 1/8 of a cup of granulated sugar, and I'm going to give that a good stir and let it continue melting. And then once it's all melted, I am gonna add a 1/4 cup of honey. But my favorite thing to do with honey is if you spray the inside of the measuring cup, and then it's honey's mixed that way, do it this way. And then add the honey. When you go to pour it in, it just pours right out. Look at that. Look at that, isn't that great? None of that honey mess today. So anyway, so I am gonna bring this to a nice boil, and I am gonna let it boil for 2 minutes exactly. So we don't have any candy thermometers, anything like this. So the minute it starts boiling, set your timer for 2 minutes and let it go. You don't need to stir it, you don't need to do anything else, but watch it bubble away. It's been about 2 minutes, so I'm going to take it off the heat. No. Oh, that's good. I'm going to take it off the heat, and I am going to add a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then I'm going to give it a good stir. I'm going to add another pinch of salt, and you can add between 3 to 4 cups of pecans. I like to use about 4 cups of pecans because I like it really thick, but if you don't like it that thick, then by all means use 3 cups. So I'm just gonna add that in, and I'm gonna give it a good stir. And I like to buy my pecans at some of the wholesale clubs. They sell 2 pounds of it, and they're about the pound of one price at the regular food store. So you wanna make sure you stir that really well, and it's all coated. And then with that, I'm gonna grab my shortbread crust, and I am just gonna pour this all over it. And then I'm just gonna take my spatula and spread it. And this is gonna go in at 350 degrees. Remember, always have your ovens preheated. And one of my favorite tricks to do, if I'm baking something at 350, I turn the oven up to 375, and then I put it in. See how easy that spreads? And there we go. So 350 for about 20 minutes, and it'll all be nice and bubbling and hot, and your house will smell great. Wow, does my house smell absolutely wonderful. I'm just about to take them out of the oven. But don't forget to like and subscribe me and share my video with all your friends. So anyway, let me take them out. And I have my Christmas pot holders. So anybody who wants to buy me a Christmas present this year, I think I need new pot holders. So anyway, so here they are. Oh, look at those. All bubbling and brown. Oh, they are gonna be perfect. So the thing about these pecan bars is right now you want to let them cool to room temperature, and you want to put them in the refrigerator for at least 6 hours or overnight. You don't want to try to cut them hot because they'll just fall apart. They won't work and it'll be a disaster. So here's a pan that I made yesterday. So as I was telling you about, when you put the foil, look at that. It pops right out of the pan. And so I'm just going to turn this over on my cutting board. And look at the ease of that. I mean, it's just so easy. And you want to make sure none of the foil is sticking to the pecan bar. So that's perfectly browned. And here are a little couple bonus pieces. So I like to cut this, and you can either get 32 like dessert if you were going to serve it as a single dessert, or 64 mini ones. I like to do the 64. So I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm just going to cut it in half again. Cut it in half again. See how easy they cut? And then, So you have these great bite-sized pieces, and these are perfect. You put them in a box and take them to somebody's house for Christmas, and just this and that. They're absolutely delicious. They're everybody's favorite. So there you go. My pecan squares, perfect for the holidays or any time of year. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to share and like me and subscribe. Have a wonderful holiday season.